Jessica Frost Ballas here with a video for Hero Arts. Today I'm sharing several fun ways to use reactive inks: heat embossing, ink blending, and watercoloring. So let's get started. First, I inked the School of Fish Bold Prints background stamp with Lemon Drop Reactive ink and stamped it onto a panel of Dove White cardstock using my MISTI. I stamped it twice for really solid coverage. Then I carefully cleaned off the stamp and inked the edges of the stamp with Creamsicle reactive ink. I also used a blending tool to soften the edges of ink so I wouldn't get harsh edges between the two colors before stamping. I repeated the inking again. Next, I heat embossed the panel with clear embossing powder. The reactive ink stays wet a little longer than dye inks, so it's perfect for heat embossing. And using the MISTI ensures that you get accurate restamping every time. Next, I blended Pool Party, Blue Raspberry, Splash, and Blue Hawaii reactive inks over the panel, starting with the lightest color in the center and blending out to the darkest blue. The embossing powder resists the ink, so after I finished blending, I used a paper towel to buff the ink off the embossed areas. I also used a barely damp paper towel to make sure all the ink was off the colorful fish. I splattered the panel with water and blotted off the excess. Then I set the panel aside to dry while I worked on the rest of the card. I stamped the submarine from Deeply in Love with VersaFine and heat embossed it with clear embossing powder. Then I taped it to a hardboard to prepare for watercoloring. I wanted to make sure my colors matched exactly, so I decided to use the same reactive inks to watercolor my submarine. I smushed Lemon Drop and Creamsicle ink onto a palette and then painted the sub. I also added a drop of ArtPrint brown liquid watercolor to some of the yellow to darken the shade a bit. Then I used black liquid watercolor to color the portholes. Occasionally, I used a scrap of paper towel to lift the paint if the colors got too dark. Once I was finished painting, I dried the sub with my heat gun and then die cut it with the coordinating die. I trimmed my background panel down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 and adhered it to a top-folding dove white card base. I also stamped a sentiment from Deeply in Love onto pitch black cardstock with embossing ink and heat embossed it with white embossing powder before trimming it down to a thin angled label. I adhered the sub and sentiment to the panel with foam mounting tape. Then I finished the card by adding a few accents with a white paint pen and coating the portholes and window with crystal clear lacquer. And that's it! I love that the reactive inks can be used in so many different ways, and I highly recommend adding them to your craft stash. You can find more information on all the products I used in the YouTube description below or over on the Hero Arts blog. Thanks so much for watching, have a fantastic day, and happy crafting! Bye!